Hey, welcome back to Mostly Wizard. We are here, April Fool's Day, but there are no fools on this podcast. We are here to talk about a few things, lots of things going on in the nerdosphere these past few weeks. We got Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which kicked off with one episode and then two episodes, which is kind of a weird release, but all three episodes were kind of awesome. Then we'll talk a little bit about Monarch, a little bit of Star Wars, uh, Maul, Sith Lord. I'm hearing an echo. Sorry, I'm for a second. Um, Hang on. So yeah, and then we'll finish up with what we're watching and a little bit of corner or whatever like that. So
Cool, cool.
welcome back, Nick. What you got going on? Has Daredevil Born Again season 2, which is a mouthful, been treating
Well,
you?
buddy, I'm glad we're back here at Nick and Billy's Mostly Wizard and Daredevil's in full swing. I have to say, I've been watching. Our last episode was on Monarch, and the episodes that have come since then have been like, just kind of dull. And this has been quite refreshing with Daredevil. Like, it is not let down. I'm loving every single minute of it. I mean, just the difference in like a superhero story it's just way better. There's the ground level, like, when they're not superheroes, like storyline is actually interesting. I want to watch it. The bits where they are, when he's dressed as Daredevil, or we have Bullseye in there, or somebody else in there, it's always just as interesting. But I do love the aspect of this Daredevil show, of the storyline. That's not, if you were to call, like, just we were talking about this with Monarch, like, how the people aspect of it is boring and only the monster stuff, like people just
Yeah,
want to see the monster stuff. I like the people aspect of, the Daredevil storyline.
yeah.
Um,
What, you got something going on back there?
Now my dog's eating Play-Doh. Hey,
Go get your dog. No Play-Doh eating, Bob.
he'll eat the whole entire thing.
No, dude, I
Uh,
like this show feels grounded and it's like character based instead of like, like you the problem with Monarch that not to dig into that too deep yet, but like I feel like it puts the world building over the character building a little too
right.
often. And like Daredevil Born Again, especially this new season, which I'm just gonna call it Born Again. So or
Yeah.
Daredevil, so I don't have to keep calling it the whole thing. Um yeah, it's character based. It's driven by that. I like the decisions that people are making. I like the character clashes that are coming up with Matt Murdock and Karen and stuff. Like, love all that aspect. And yeah, like really, what stands out to me too, and I know it's standing out to you too, is Bullseye. That character is really doing it for me this season. He's got this like ninja quality to him, which is awesome. I like how they're like integrating the bullseye symbol on his forehead with the
Yeah.
mask instead of like Colin Farrell had like the tattoo kind of branding on his forehead, which is all right for whatever it was, but I like where they're going with this character. He's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of forgot about him until the very end of that first episode, and I was just like, at first I thought it was the Punisher, and then he, like, threw the knife in there, and I saw the symbol on there, and I was like, oh, the pimp. I was like, okay, I like this like anti-hero villain, actually a villain. My friend, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type
Hell
deal.
yeah,
I
man.
like that. Um, I thought, I mean, again, to touch on kind of like how they're integrating this entire thing, I like this aspect that there's, Fisk has got just this every aspect covered, and they've got to figure out just the right. like thing to do to like expose him. Um, so they have like Bullseye coming in here, who's obviously gunning for Fisk's wife, and Fisk's wife is got like PTSD now, like she knows he's coming. And then you have that therapist lady that Murdoch was seeing in the first season.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's having PTSD about the Muse, and it definitely looks like she's going to become the Muse because she's got his mask, and she's all of a sudden like having these crazy, what would you call it, like space outs where she's
Yeah.
like, thinking these crazy things. So I like that, and I mean, like, I didn't like how they were gonna do that with her, but at the
Yeah, why
same
didn't you
time,
like that
I
at
do.
first? Like you
Well,
were
I,
saying
I
you
just
didn't dig it.
I've seen it done. It's just like, oh, okay, so you were the victim, and now you're going to become the victimizer. I've seen that done, and it's just like I thought it was kind of too easy of a thing to see. But at the same time, though, it's cool though. I mean, I
Have
like
you
it.
seen
I mean,
it
the
done?
music.
Like I mean like
I have, yeah. I mean, that's what I was saying. I was just like, dude, I've seen this. That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I
but
hope she
like
doesn't become the Muse. Go ahead.
well, I just mean like have you seen it done like in Marvel really? Like I know
No, I
it's
mean,
in stories and movies in the past.
right,
It's kind of a cliche or it's been done before, but
right,
like I don't know, I dig it for this purpose.
right. And you pointed it out. That I mean, Muse is a cool character.
Yeah, they
It
underutilized him in season 1, so
right, and I mean, he's literally like a serial killer, and this would be cool to see her go crazy.
yeah.
So I mean, that kind of sold me on it. So, but I did think it was kind of uh, just unrealistic that she somehow got a hold of his mask. Like, okay, so she's able to. I mean, I guess maybe because she's has some kind of state therapist or something like that. But I also don't think she's be able to get a hold of evidence like that and just be able to like keep it.
I don't know,
But
dude, like she works for Fisk.
yeah,
She works for
right.
Fisk and she's part of, like this task force that are not officially part of the task force itself, but she's supporting the task force and like taking down
Part of that world.
mass vigilantes and yeah, I could see her getting special access to whatever she wants really, so.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like I said in text, like I think I saw that come in, like even last season, kind of like she was the way she was talking about Muse and the interactions and all that. I could see it kind of maybe bleeding off onto her. And then yeah, they're making it kind of obvious this season. If they're doing something else, like pulling the rug out, like she's not gonna do that. Um, Even better. But like
Right.
I think it's got potential. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward.
I think it would be cool. It's just like you said, they underutilized the character in the last season. He got killed off pretty easily, and I think it would be cool to have another sadistic, you know, serial killer Muse character come in there. But I wanted to talk about a little bit, what this show and these street level heroes shows do right, and that's like highlight these other lame kind of, not lame, but just unheard of heroes and stuff like that, like the swordsman. I mean, the
Yeah.
white tigers, she's not unheard of. She's definitely part of like that street level defenders gang type. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but
I know what you're
uh,
saying. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's cool. I definitely thought Swordsman was gonna get murked or just not. I thought he was gonna get murked on the jailbreak there, or sacrifice himself or something like that. But I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad that his character has got out, kicked some ass. I kind of want to see his character in full swing,
Hmm.
and I like how I don't even know her name, but I like how she picked up the mantle of her uncle,
White Tiger.
and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean she's going to be at that lower level, I wouldn't even call them new Avengers or what would you call it?
Defenders.
No, no, the what's the Kid Avengers? Is it
The
Kid
Young
Avengers?
Avengers are the champions.
Young Avengers. Yeah, I don't even think she's part of them. Maybe she is. I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
mean, they got to connect things somehow. I do like this roster that we're playing up in this kind of street level story, like White Tiger, Swordsman. We know Jessica Jones is going to show up at some point. I'm not a huge fan of that show, like everybody was. I know, like shoot me,
I mean,
but
the Purple Man, that guy was devious though. I mean,
I need
that's
to
a
rewatch it.
devious
I
ass
mean,
bat.
that was over 10 years ago, and I don't think I gave it its full chance at the. I watched season one, but I just didn't get into it. Maybe I would on a rewatch,
His name
but
is David
yeah,
Tennant or David.
yeah,
Is it
David
David
Tennant.
Tennant?
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a cool ass actor, man.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So we got these street level characters coming into their own, and I like how they're handling them. Like obviously we saw Punisher already, not this season, but
But
he's very grounded and like he's dealing with the police kind of this eight what is it, AVTF, yeah, anti
yeah,
vigilante task force, ICE basically. um
right.
they
Correlations
I know
uncanny.
it's ridiculous, and yeah, that's why I bring it up, because like I like that they're confronting that head on. Like last season, they confronted, police co-opting the Punisher symbol, to do unlawful things, unconstitutional things. Got my pocket constitution right over my shoulder right here. Um, and now this season we have kind of a unscripted depiction of ice. Like that's the thing, is like art is imitating life, and it's really like mirroring life these past couple years. So
Right.
um I really like what they're doing with that, and like I feel like Punisher's battle with police co-opting his symbol is going to be reflected in like this kind of like AVTF thing. And Swordsman, White Tiger, Jessica Jones, they're and Daredevil, obviously they're going to be the ones that kind of put them in their place, hopefully. So and put Fisk
Well,
in
there.
place at some point.
Yeah, I mean they were teasing Punisher a good amount. I don't know if this is last episode because they had that the double episode this week. I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, but they were definitely him and Karen talking about Punisher, and they're like, "Oh, you sound like Punisher or you sound like Frank," and I was like, "Okay, cool. Like that means like he's gonna be coming in here sometime soon." But no, I thought he was gonna come in at the jailbreak. Didn't happen. Which is fine. Which kind of begs the question of what's he doing? I mean, he'd obviously escaped, and that was, at the end of the first season. I mean, you didn't see him escape, but you saw him like on the process of doing it.
Right.
But it's like, okay, what the hell? Where's he? What's he doing? You know what I mean? And I'm, I thought at the end of that first season, we were going to have this huge network of like, resistance. And then when we started this season with the first episode, it was really just Murdoch and Karen, hiding out in what's her face's bar. And that was it.
Hmm.
And then Cherry, I guess he's part of it and just like, not part of it. But I thought, what's it? When he was in the hospital, like all the other older cops that were there, and uh, the task force comes there to like kill him. They're like, "What's going on? What's up?" And then all of a sudden, like they leave, and then they come back, and they're gone. So it's like, okay, so where did they go? And I just thought like there was going to be a lot more of people involved, kind of, instead of just like Murdoch and Karen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean, but who else would you want?
Well, just a big old network of like, resistance people like
Well,
out
not
there being
yet. Not,
like,
not this early on. So, like, I think that's the thing, is like they had to face a big battle like this to know that they need help. Like, we're gonna need not an. I don't know if he's gonna like say we need an army. Like, I feel like that's a quote from one of the Netflix Netflix seasons where he's like, "We need an army to come combat the Hand or whatever." Um, but yeah, this is like an inciting incident that's like he's gonna have to step up his game. Like, yeah, he's got this cool badass suit, dude. I love this black suit with the two red
Too.
double D's and the way they do the lighting on it and stuff, the red lighting, so freaking cool. But like, yeah, like he thinks he's at the top of his game, but he's not. And like that brings me up. Ugh. Sorry, that brings me another point that we talked about a little bit before this is like the lie detector, the human lie detector part where he has that ICE agent, in captivity, or AVTF agent in captivity, and he um is asking him, like I forget the question that he's asking him, but like, is it true? Is it
Right,
true? And
right,
like,
right, right.
I,
Don't lie to me. Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I feel like he's starting to doubt himself a little bit or doubt his abilities. I don't know if that's what they were trying to show in the series, but yeah, that's kind of I see that maybe where it's going is like he's ramping up, he's realizing he's in over his head. I appreciated him. Well, no, that wasn't him. That was Bullseye that went to the church. I feel like Matt Murdock needs to go to church. He needs to reconnect with his Catholicism, and he's off his
Usually does.
he,
Usually always does.
he's off his
Well, he's in
path
hiding.
right now. So
Yeah, I mean he can't because he like that's the whole point is like I guess it's the reason why he's not like reaching out to a lot of these people is because if he does and he'll put them in danger
hmm
because if they know anything then they could get captured and get tortured and stuff like that, but not the fact that they would rat him out, but more on the fact that he'd be putting him in danger.
right.
I think that's why he didn't say anything to his lawyer partner, that he was going into hiding and stuff like that, so
Right.
she wouldn't, get in danger. I know he like talked to her in that. I think this is the last episode after the swordsman trial, a tribunal. But he was doing it as Daredevil. But which again, I also was like, dude, she would know his voice. Like, there's no way. Like, she would know his voice. Like, they're just saying, like, he was doing like a Batman thing. Like, so he like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was just like, dude, even if Billy, if you were to do that to me, I'd be like, dude, Billy, what are you doing?
No
I can totally
guns, no
understand.
killing. Yeah, no, I know. Um, but forgivable in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, it is forgivable. I'll give it that.
And like I appreciate things like that when they try to over the top like explain things like, oh, he installed a voice modulator on his Adam's apple, so whenever he presses it, he has that voice. It's like, no, don't sci-fi it too much. Just I can suspend my disbelief for a little bit. Um, but yeah, going back to like the swordsman, I love that character. Like he was off-putting, I will say, in Hawkeye season one when he was introduced as the husband or fiance of uh, young Hawkeye's mom, Kate Bishop's mom. Um, and he was dating the mom, and he was kind of like weird. Like we were supposed to be suspicious of him. Like he was
Right.
doing some
Some
nefarious
shit.
things, but he ended up being like a likable guy, and like I liked him by the end of that season, but also was kind of like weird. And then I liked how they have been weaving him into different I guess it was just Daredevil season one, Born Again season one, where he came back and was at an event or whatever. But now he has like motivation. Like he's been wronged, and like I'm on his side now, and like it's like kind of messed up. They're trying to trick him and like change his reports and like I want
I didn't
justice.
like him either.
I want
I didn't like
justice
him
for
either,
my character.
but I want him to see. I want to see him get some justice. That's what I want to
That's what I'm
see.
saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I want him to have justice. I want him to have his moment. He got that like rebar thing and was like
Yeah, I
using it
know.
like a sword. Like that's awesome, dude. So like yeah, give that man a costume. Like let him meet Daredevil's costume guy. You know, Remember he went and got the gold suit in season one, or that's why he was in San Francisco during She-Hulk.
So, a question here. Okay, so now that we brought in like Hawkeye and all that, how does this fit into the Marvel universe here? Because like this doesn't make sense. Number one, where are all the other heroes during this shit?
There's a lot of shit going
Like,
on, man. There's a lot of stuff going
I,
on in Marvel
I,
616.
I get it, but at the same time, this is kind of like big, and it's like most of Marvel's taking place in New York, anyways.
Right. I do wonder how they're gonna weave in like the whole Mayor Fisk of it all. You know, like that's
Spider-Man, like Hulk. I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of
all
things going
that.
on. So like yeah, not to jump too far ahead like to what we're like looking forward to, but the Brand New Day trailer came out in the past couple weeks. It looks awesome. It doesn't really look like the same mayor is running the town. You know, it looks like it's either after that or before this.
It looks it's got to be after. I mean, you know it's that's why I'm assuming this is now, and then that movie's coming out in what, May or something like
Yeah,
that, or
so it'll be a couple years or maybe forward.
right, right. But I mean, like you can just tell it's just like everything's vibrant and
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
stuff like that compared
Actually, I
to
don't know. Like everything looked kind of gray to me. That's part of
in Brand New Day.
the backgrounds looked very gray to me, but I think that's intentional. They're trying. I think it's a stylistic choice. They're trying to do like the costumes on top all bright and colorful, and like
Right.
action is colorful, and then background stuff is kind of like desaturated and kind of a cool like contrasty way. Um, but yeah, like it doesn't look like Fisk's. But maybe it is. Maybe his anti vigilante task force is still in force, and that's why, you know, we see Punisher going through the town with a Humvee shooting at stuff, and we see other mass vigilantes like going nuts. So like maybe this whole like anti okay theory come incoming theory. Brace yourself, Nick. Incoming theory. Daredevil Born Again season 2 ends with Fisk's downfall and the downfall of the anti-vigilante task force, which spurs a rise in vigilanteism. So it's like, you know, like once prohibition was repealed, like everybody's like, yeah, let's get drunk. So like everybody's gonna be getting drunk during Brand New Day. Like, you know, the Fisk fist, the iron fist of Fisk is gone, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing in Brand New Day. That's my new
Do
theory.
you think? I mean, like Fisk was. I don't really know about the comics, but going off of the '90s cartoon, I remember Fisk was a big villain of Spider-Man in that, and like Scorpion was like a henchman. So like, but like Fisk was a, you know, a mob boss in that, not
Right.
like,
Yeah.
a politician.
That's
So
what I
I
want to
don't know.
see. Yeah, when I say downfall of Fisk, I mean downfall of him as a political figure or a public figure.
Right,
I want to see him go back to being a mob boss. You know, like in the kind of underworld.
right.
I like this storyline where he's on top and he's very visible right now, but like
Yeah.
that has to end at some point. That doesn't mean that his character needs to end. That's kind of, you know, like that's the cool thing about Wilson Fisk through, you know, the Netflix series. We saw him kind of rising through the rungs of the gangster realm, and then he got sent to jail, and then he got out and rose back up, and now he's been just on that rise. And so like he's now risen to a political figure, a public figure, and he's gonna fall, obviously. But I really hope the series doesn't, you know, kill him off or whatever. I really don't think they're gonna kill him off at this season or next
No.
season or whatever. Like he needs to be, you know, like what
An
okay.
ongoing villain.
Yeah, and like my major point here, going along with how you were framing Scorpion as a henchman, what I loved about '90s animated superhero stuff is that it was the Rogues Gallery. And, you know, everybody associates a Rogues Gallery with Batman, and he did have the best Rogues Gallery of all time. But Spider-Man also did, and Daredevil also did, and the X-Men had a great Rogues Gallery. So like that's what I want to see. That's what's been lacking in Marvel through its 20 years of existence is like the ongoing villains. Like we've had sprinkled in. Don't get me wrong. Like hit me up in the comments if I'm off there. But you know we've built Loki as an ongoing villain, but he's now like
Right.
more of a anti-hero slash hero at this point. We
Slash savior of all reality.
yeah. We had Thanos built up as an ongoing villain, but he wasn't like a rogues gallery style villain. Like what I mean is like at any given time, Fisk can pop out in like a movie 5 years from now. He can just pop up um, in a storyline and affect it.
Right.
Just like
Right.
you know, in like he'll sick tombstone on people or like, whoever he's in charge of. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see that style
Tombstone was
of world building.
Tombstone worked for Fisk, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's what I
back in
mean.
the
Yeah. Like, so let's see that.
he
Let's see
worked
it.
for Fisk.
And not just in one movie. I want to see it ongoing. And then, like, so, like, say, like, a movie establishes Tombstone as Fisk's right hand man. I then want to see Tombstone appear in Daredevil, Daredevil season 3 or whatever, where, that's the connective tissue of like, okay, Fisk is now on the outs, but now you got to deal with his, I keep saying henchmen, but, his cohorts. There's the better word for it. Where'd you
Well,
go, Nick?
Billy, I think we should move on to Monarch. What do you
Yeah,
think?
let's talk about Monarch. So I'll start off because I don't have too much to say. I've been digging. You getting loud humming? Okay. I think it's because I'm talking loud. We're learning on the fly here. We might cut this. So no big deal. Can you hear me any better, Nick?
I can. I'm still hearing it. Wait.
I hear an
It's
echo. So why I took my headphones out is because I was hearing an echo whenever I was talking.
it's better now.
Okay.
I can still kind of hear it, but it's not. It's like kind of only when you talk.
All right. Well, I'm not going to be talking much. Yeah. So Monarch season
It,
2.
it's good.
All right. All right. So Monarch season 2. I don't have too much to say about it. Like I said, I've been digging the season. I don't love it, but I
Hopefully, it gets better.
hopefully it's getting better. It's going to get better. I don't love the whole like love triangle story with like whose
Right.
baby is it, that type of thing. Like, did
Yeah, it's
not like
stupid.
the introduction of that, but it seems like they're kind of moving through it in a decent way in this latest episode. Like, it could still be his kid, so who knows. um I dig the monsters, but yeah, I just don't feel the. Sorry, I'm getting a big. I gotta switch off.
No, you're fine.
Feel the threat. Like I don't feel the stakes, and I want to feel those stakes. And part of it is like the show's premise. Like we're set in before the King of the Monsters movie. So like, what are we doing here? There's other monsters already in existence. Like, why weren't you more prepared in that movie? Uh oh, you're back.
No, I agree, man. Like, so the thing that's been going on that like that these just last two episodes since the last time we talked about it, it's exactly right that the love triangle, like it's supposed to be like three generations of a love triangle. It is kind of lame, and it's just like, dude, I don't want to hear about polymorphic, relationships. I get it. I understand it. I understand that, this is what happened, but like I thought it was kind of weird and dumb that they made it happen like with Hiroshi's, I think is his name. Doing that with uh, I think his name is Kentaro, his mom, and Kate's mom. And then like supposedly May and Kate and Kentaro and May are all going to be in a love triangle, which is also weird that May is like dating, going to be possibly dating like, siblings, and that is kind of a little bit weird. But what I saw coming, and I just kind of don't. I get it, So full disclosure, last time we talked about this, I definitely was saying the wrong name for what the old Godzilla was. It's the
Yes.
Toho. It's Toho,
Yes.
and I was thinking of the Showa era,
Yeah.
but it's Toho. But back in, those during those movies, there were definitely times where, and it's where these two twins would be able to communicate with like Mothra, or sometimes like somebody would be able to communicate with the Mothra, and they're doing that with Kate and the Titan X, and I thought that was I just thought it was kind of lame a little bit,
Yeah.
just because I didn't want to see some kind of thing where it was just like, oh, either like it's controlling her or she's gonna control it, or something like that, or
Hmm.
I thought it was kind of stupid. So my prediction for this is either it's gonna control her and she's gonna do something crazy, or she's going to talk to it, and you know they're going to come to an understanding that it's not really out to kill anybody, because realistically it hasn't done anything. It realistically has not done anything. um, which case makes me believe that maybe something worse might be out there, that this thing is just, there to make sure it doesn't happen, type of deal. And it's going to take Titan X and Godzilla in the last like couple episodes to bring it down or something like that, which would be cool. I like that. And then it's going to go back into the Axis Monday, because it said it kind of like, I don't know what I was watching, or maybe it was the episode, but apparently it goes into, it's either, and this is what I think, is that either got it goes into the Axis Monday by choice or something like that, and it just hibernates there. And then whenever its migration schedule is, ready, I think it's like every 15 years, I want to say, then it'll come out, do its little migration wing, and pick up all its babies. Because like that's another thing I just didn't get. It picks up all these babies, and then what happens? Where do they go? What, like, do they, it's been doing this for, thousands of years or millions of years. So where are the other big Titan X's? You know what I mean? Like, what's that about? Because it's got thousands of these little babies,
Right.
Um, so I thought that was kind of a plot hole so far. Maybe not a plot hole. Maybe it's just something that's not explained yet, which I'm sure. But I did. The only thing I do like, is just the Hiroshi's getting a full circle on his abandonment issues. I thought it was good that they didn't dwell too much on him getting pissed at his mom for writing that letter, because she, cheated on his dad, Bill Rhonda, with Lee, and um, he found the letter, and not found the letter, but in this, I think it was, maybe it was his last episode, the episode before that, found the letter, read it, figured out that Bill Rhonda didn't actually abandon him, because of him, because he's thinking that, there's something wrong with him the entire time. And of course, a 12-year-old boy, 11-year-old boy, however old he was, that could be devastating. And I thought that was great, the way he got closure, that this wasn't his fault and none of it had anything to do with him. I thought that
Yeah.
was good. And, I liked how he didn't dwell on it too long, and they had a conversation relatively quickly. Um, and they hashed it out, and now they're okay, and all that stuff. So I mean, he hasn't hashed it out with Lee, but he had like Lee had a talk with him a little bit, which was pretty much just like, man, you've gotten a miracle. You had something that people would kill for, that you've gotten your mom back. You've got a family, and the worst thing you can do is be pissed about it. You know what I mean? That was kind of his Kurt Russell's conversation with him. I liked that. I thought that was great point, and just exactly what he should be concentrating on, because it's just like, dude, your your mom, who's been passed away for, what was it, 57, since 1957, and it's, which again, that timeline, Hiroshi seems like he needs to be in his like 70s or something. I don't think that
Yeah,
timeline
I
really
think
like works out there.
that's the other thing kind of throwing me off is some of these like time they don't this season isn't doing a good job like season 1 was, I feel like, where they kept us in line. Your video looks weird right now. Is your internet all right? They kept everybody established like in their timelines and like how they're connected, and this season is a little bit, I don't know. It's they need to do a better job of like reminding us, like not in like a hand holding kind of way, but like like every now and then, like do a flashback or something. I don't know what I'm asking for,
Right.
but like I need to
Well,
be
I
more
mean, I mean,
grounded in like where everybody
I mean,
is,
like,
where everybody
I mean,
like
like,
has come from. Like
the actor that plays Hiroshi, he is maybe 60, maybe late 50s. Like, if he was born in the like, I think he was supposed to be born in the early 50s, like 51 or something like that, or before that. And if he was born then, he would be in his 70s during this time. So like I'm like, I don't, he doesn't look it. His body, like he would not be able to do the things that he's doing, like like Kurt. He would be like the way Kurt Russell looks right now. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
kind of just doesn't line up, a little bit, unless Hiroshi
Yeah,
somehow
I
was in the
agree.
Axis Mundi at some point, and that's why he looks younger, which is the only thing that really kind of makes sense to me. But so the point is that like some of the things have got a little bit of plot holes in it, and I'm hoping that they remedy it with these next couple episodes. But they definitely need to get off the people's like problems.
Yeah,
They need to
I'm
get some
bored as
monster
hell.
fight in the. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you
I'm
100%.
bored as
Like
hell,
they need to
and
get
like with the monster fighting, like I don't need to see like Godzilla and King Kong team up yet. Like that's what the movies are
right.
for. Like so I if that's what they're building towards, like I just like come on guys, like come up with something better. Like you don't need a big team up event. Like that's what the movies are for. So
Mm.
I don't know. I'm a little worried at where this season's going. I'm a little
All I
disappointed
know is
there.
that they need to come in. They need to do some monster fights, and they need it real bad, because like the Apex stuff, and the little stuff between the Scooby Gang, it's kind of boring, and it's I like the background that they're filling in stuff, and I like that, and I like the aspect of explaining why Bill Randa was kind of a crazy asshole on Skull Island. But I still, if we're gonna make a hit, if we're gonna make a good show here, we need to get more. We need, number one, some monster fights, and so far that has not happened this season.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't
Anything
know.
else? Just
Yeah, I was gonna say,
go.
the only other thing I was gonna say is I wish they were gonna do, when they were at Apex, or not Apex, when Apex was on that
That's the
Cult
other thing.
Village. I thought it was stupid that the Cult Village was gone or anything like that. Just abandoned. I
Yeah.
thought they should have had them there, or integrated them or something like that. But
Well,
Um,
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I agree, but I'm glad you brought up Apex because I did forget all about them. I think that's the most interesting aspect of the season so far is the introduction of the foundation of Apex. Not the foundation, but the integration and the takeover, the kind of hostile takeover of the lab and all the technology. Like you can see where that all came from. Like in the movie when you know Godzilla and Kong have to team up to fight Mechazilla. Um, I'd love to see where that came from. Like let's see more of that. Kind of the groundwork of that, and that's been the best part. So like, thanks for reminding me of that. I would love to
yeah.
see some robots battle some kaiju. Like maybe like let's get some like prototype Mechazillas out there
I
and
mean, they got to fill in the gap somehow because that was a huge plot hole. And this is what we talked about before. I was just like, hey, I really need to see how they went from 2014 Godzilla or 2019 King of the Monsters to, 4 years later, a gigantic, you know, automaton battling a kaiju, like, and
right.
using brain waves to do it. So I liked the only thing I don't like. I mean, I get we're filling in a little bit of the gaps, like how they got there, but what I don't like though is like they also don't like reveal how Apex got to where they are. Like all of a sudden, Apex just has way better technology, and they can like shoot a dart into, the back of a kaiju head or some kind of monster's neck and control it for like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was the whole point of their like so-called experiment is, they and I knew that was going to happen as soon as I saw it, the dart shoot into the tentacle that they're just going to, you know, cut the tentacle off and shit. And
Yeah.
but I was also just like,
Calamar.
okay, well, I was just like, that doesn't work that way. Like, you can't just shoot it into a tentacle and then expect to control it. It's got to be like, like, well, and a human, like,
More
back here, but,
in the
but
neurons or something.
right, 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 right. So, yeah, I mean, there's a couple plot holes, but I mean, again, we got Kurt Russell, we got Wyatt Russell, and I mean, I'm a huge fan of Wyatt Russell. I'm a huge fan of Kurt Russell. Oh, I wanted to talk about this, and I don't know if this is one of the episodes that happened. I think yes, it was one of the episodes after the last time we talked about Monarch. So Kurt Russell, they're in a bar and they're trying to get, I think it's like a key from one of the Apex people, and Kurt Russell puts on this like persona that is just straight out of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, I
Like
remember
his
that. That was awesome.
yeah, his character in Big Trouble in Little China, he just his character, like the way he was acting in that bar, I was just like, dude, they need to do like a Big Trouble in Little China too with Kurt Russell as an old man or something like that, and just like I'm like it was just nostalgia, and I was just like, dude, this would totally work. Kurt Russell still got it, and he could totally do it. I would love to see that, but yeah,
Hell yeah, man. All right, yeah, looking forward to what they're gonna have in store for us tomorrow. Is that when it comes out, or yeah, Thursday night? Um, yeah, Thursday night.
Friday.
I like kind of transitioning into our next segment here. What we're watching, what we're anticipating, what we're looking forward to. Um, yeah, I look forward to Thursday nights. Monarch comes out and The Pit comes out. Um, the Have you watched The Pit yet, Nick?
I was going to. You recommended it, and I was literally going to turn it on the other day. Just, I mean, Noah Wiley, I'm a fan since like ER. I like the librarians. Um, he's a cool actor. I mean, he doesn't
Hell
he
yeah,
like
man.
literally. I think that's the only movies he's actually, or not movies, shows. Well, I mean, librarians they did come TV movies, but um, I think those are the only stuff he's ever done. But everything he's done has been good. ER, great.
Yeah.
You know. back in the day, and then the Librarians, if you're down with, some sci-fi fantasy stuff, Librarians is great. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show, and like I think yeah, I do remember talking that to you with you about it. The thing that I love about it, it reminds me of like the X Men, the team as the everybody has their own talents and coming together to like play off each other's talents and stuff. It's like the X Men. I want to see a couple of the characters be cast as X Men. So yeah, what else we're looking forward to? Maul.
Next
I can
week,
never remember the name of this animated series coming up. I don't know what it's called. Dark Lord, Shadow Lord, Shadow
Shadow
Lord.
Overlord.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. I love me some Darth Maul. I love me some animated Star Wars. I think animated Star Wars is the best Star Wars.
It's top tier,
Um, it's what?
top tier.
Top tier for sure, dude. And yeah, so I think this series is gonna have some surprises. I don't really have anything specific that I'm looking forward to. I'm just kind of like looking forward to some of the more uh I don't know, like quotable, like there's inevitable quotable moments gonna come. Like he's gonna have some weird things to say, some dark things, some positive things, maybe. So I'm looking forward to those. What little nuggets we can pull out of the
I
overall
forgot what's
lore.
the voice actor's name. Sam.
Whitwer.
Yeah, dude, he's top awesome. I mean, like, I can't wait for them to make him into an actual Star Wars character, like live action. Like, he's so awesome. He's such a Star Wars nerd, and his just passion into how he creates Maul is just so unbelievably great. Like the absolute, like, just greatness that he brings to the entire universe is everything that they need. But when I was watching the preview there, I was trying to, like, pick a couple of things out there. And one thing I was watching right before we started talking.
Yeah.
There was like some little lizard guy. Did you see this little lizard guy? And he had the force and shit.
No, I didn't.
He
I
literally looked like
haven't.
literally looked like a Komodo dragon or something, and he not as long, but like he was like using the force and shit. I'm wondering who the fuck he was, and you know a lot of the time, like when we saw him fighting, I mean I could was trying to discern who he was like tearing apart with his saber. A lot of it really didn't look like the Empire, and I did you see that? I mean, is that what your take was?
Yeah, I'm confused at the timeline when this fits in. Is this after? Yeah, I guess
So it's
you're not the
before A
right
New
person.
Hope. It definitely, yeah, it's before A New Hope. It's
Well, is it after is this a continuation of Bad Batch? Like in
yeah, it's
timeline.
after that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, now I
yeah,
know
yeah.
where we are. Yeah, it'll be kind of the early stormtroopers still. Then, they're transitioning between those helmets where their helmets are, different pieces than their masks. The what do you call that? To T1 troopers or whatever it is.
Right.
Um, and so yeah, like I think I saw a little bit of that transitional stormtrooper style in the preview, so that makes sense. But yeah, I love Star Wars animated. Um, really
It's
looking
hard to
forward to
talk
what
about
they have
before
in
it's come
store.
out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's it's hard to like speculate because it's bounty hunter shit. It's the crime syndicate shit. Um, yeah, this is kind of maybe we'll see some what Red Dawn stuff, some
I wonder if
Khaleesi.
they're gonna actually if they're gonna what's the word, canonize. I guess it is canon, but you know go more onto that Solo end of Solo.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
What what's her name? The
yeah. That's
chick?
what I just said. Khaleesi. I don't
Not
know. I don't
Khaleesi.
know
Oh
her.
yeah, it is Khaleesi. Yeah, it is Khaleesi. It's her name. Whatever Clark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
don't know her name in Star Wars. I'm drawing a blank, but
yeah,
Kira.
yeah, yeah,
Kira.
yeah. Yeah, Kira. Yeah, Kira.
Um, yeah, I think they're going to be leading towards that, connecting the dots between Bad Batch and Solo, and that makes total sense. Like I like those that little time frame. That's an unexplored nugget of the Star Wars realm. So, all right. Other than that, what are you looking forward to, Nick?
Well, I haven't seen Project Hail Mary, and everyone's raving about it.
Yeah, man, it's you need to see it on a big screen. I saw it on IMAX and it was worth it. It's really freaking cool visuals. I listened to the audiobook before, like a month ago, in anticipation of the movie coming out. The audiobook is really really good. The voice actor whose name is escaping me does really cool voices and stuff, and it's like listening to a movie when you do uh, audiobooks. Audible, if you want to sponsor us, get in touch. Um, but yeah, and then the movie is. I really loved how they adapted the book into the movie. Like they cut out some things, obviously. They added some new things that weren't in the book, and it all serves a purpose. It's all really good, and it's a fun story. That's the thing. It's not like a mind blowing story. It's like you've seen The Martian, right? With Matt Damon. It's like that. It's that kind of tone where it's um, positive, science based, fun, awesome. And yeah, the visuals are pretty freaking cool if you see it in IMAX. Other than that, looking forward to
Oh,
Dune.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the obvious movies coming out later this year. We're starting to get trailers for a lot of things. We got the Dune Part 3 trailer, Doomsday, a lot of teases there. Uh, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. We touched on that trailer a little bit. Really, really, really looking forward to that movie. Um, yeah, what else are you looking forward to, Nick?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. That looked awesome, dude. And
Carl
Street
Urban,
Fighter looks
baby.
cool too.
I I don't remember. I remember watching that trailer, but I don't remember watching the trailer. But Carl Urban, I mean Carl Urban or Urban,
Urban. Urban.
Urban, dude, he's my
Keith
favorite.
Urban's brother.
I- Why do I know who Keith Urban is? Who is Keith Urban? Is that like a
Country
country singer?
singer married to Nicole Kidman.
Dude, you're lying. That's not his brother.
I think so. Let me look it up.
Carl Urban though, he's my like top like if Carl Urban is in it, it is a good fucking movie or show. Like show me a fucking Carl Urban. Okay, well,
They're not
The
brothers,
Priest.
by the way.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I didn't
My
think so.
bad.
But I was about to say like show me a movie or show that he's been in that is shit. I mean, I could name one right now, which is Priest, but like, still that was still kind of a cool movie, but not really. But it was all over the place and shitty. But still, he was barely in it. But still, Carl Urban as freaking Johnny Cage. It's gonna be the shit. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm hear me now. Carl Urban will make that movie fucking awesome. I'm so happy that they moved away from the shitty fucking like storyline that had nothing to do with the original shit. Like I remember what. No offense if anyone liked the first Mortal Kombat, but that movie fuck not the '90s one, but the one that just came out like a couple
Oh
years
yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah, that one. The '90s
That
one, that
that
was fun. But
yeah, the '90s one was fun, and the one that came out a couple years ago, it was just like, what the fuck is this? What storyline is this? Like, I'm so happy that they're moving away from that and like
yeah,
going
that
back
was
to like
terrible.
what this is.
I liked the special effects in the newest one.
Yeah.
seeing the forearm dude and all that, like it looked really cool, but it was shit. And then, oh wait, no, I'm thinking of. I was going to talk about Snake Eyes, but yeah, GI Joe movies. GI Joe and Mortal Kombat, I get mixed up in my head every now and then. They need to have a crossover.
Billy, so as far as Daredevil is concerned, so far, what do you think? Are we somewhat wizard,
Oh, for
mostly wizard, totally wizard?
I think it's been mostly Wizard so far. I wouldn't put it at totally Wizard yet, because like the
Yeah.
fight scenes are totally Wizard for sure. Like freaking
Yeah.
amazing fight scenes. But like overall, like the storyline's pretty good. It's not, not the best storyline,
We're not
but
there
not
yet.
not saying that I'm not knocking it. It's just not like, oh, I'm so intrigued. It's just kind of
Yeah, we're
interesting.
not we're yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll agree with you. I mean, I like it. The storyline is it's just like you're stuck. They're stuck
Mhm.
and they got to figure out a way out. So there's not really much of a story there. We kind of know
Right.
what's going on. They just got to like figure it. I'll give it a mostly Wizard too. I agree. I mean, it's just entertaining. Everything's good on it. The acting's good. I like everything about it so far. Um, Monarch, I'll give a Wizard so far. I'm hoping it can get up to a mostly Wizard. Um, but yeah,
All
and
right.
Maul, I'm predicting is going to be totally Wizard.
Yeah, Maul I think is going to be totally Wizard. I agree. Monarch, honestly, I put a not so Wizard right now.
Not so Wizard. All
But
right,
it
I agree
has
with that.
room to redeem itself. It has room to get
Yeah.
back up on the scale.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
So to finish this out, we'll go back to the Pride and True, which we kind of skipped over a couple of last few episodes here. What would be a movie or TV show you would like to see sequeled or remade?
So,
I'm gonna go with I think may have even said this before. I'm going to go with Big Trouble in Little China, and I may have said this on a previous one. I don't know about remade. I'd like to see a sequel of it with Kurt Russell. But if I've said this before, let me think of something else real quick, and then here you go and out, and then I'll go again.
yeah. So, I'm gonna try to give this. So, there's been talk, a little bit of talk. I'm gonna try to do this spoiler free for Project Hail Mary. There's been a little bit of speculation that they're gonna try to push a sequel to this movie. And at my first response to that, after having read the book and not seeing the movie, was that no way. Like, leave it alone. Like this book was precious. Like, it was. Precious is. I would have called it precious before I saw the movie and all that. Then you see the movie, and not that that changed my opinion at all, but like it changed the tone of it. Like it is a franchisable movie. And then I started thinking about the potential and the Easter eggs that they set throughout Project Hail Mary for a sequel. And without giving too much away, because I'll try and speak in terms that are confusing, Astrophage is like, okay, so the main character in Project Hail Mary has a conversation in the book with a Canadian scientist, and they talk about the Beatles, which you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, Nick. They talk about the Beatles, but also about the potential of astrophage. And Grace is kind of like initially like this is detrimental to humanity, like this is awful. But the Canadian scientist is like, I don't know. Well, once we're on the other side of this, it could be pretty awesome. And so, without spoiling anything, I think the potential, if you think of astrophage, if you think of the potential of like an infinite fuel that could be used for good or evil, there's a lot of potential there to storytell and stay on theme with Project Hail Mary. Like if Project Hail Mary's theme is, you know, finding the Heroa says, "Hey Nick, your video looks fucking awesome right now. It looks great."
Thanks.
If Project Hail Mary is about, like finding the inner hero in yourself and saving the world and all that stuff, maybe Project Hail Mary 2 could be about like, was it worth it? Like you were saving humanity, but what you were saving the world, but what world was it that you were saving? Like if you were return to that world, would it be the same? No, I don't think it would. With the introduction of astrophage, you'd have like a new nuclear deterrent. You'd have new way of travel. You'd have a new way of communication. It would be a lot of changes. So, all that to say, I hope I didn't give too much away, but Project Hail Mary Part 2 could be like a freaking awesome sci-fi movie, dude.
I dig it. So, as you were speaking, and I probably had this in my mind before you even started speaking, but if I mentioned Big Trouble in Little China before, I'm gonna go with this. I think there needs to be a new renaissance of puppeteering. I think Jim Henson, what would you call it, network or studio, needs to come back, or a studio like that. I think that stuff from the 80s that was strong in puppeteering as well as movies made with puppets. Movies made with puppets such as like, when you have an alien, like Alien Queen, that was all puppeteering and stuff like that. It holds a whole new level above CGI. And I will go with puppeteering every single fucking time. But I do think there needs to be a studio bringing back like puppeteering, not like the Muppets movies or something like that. The Muppet movies are great. I love those as kids, but I'm talking like Never-Ending Story type deals, Labyrinth type deals, just stuff like that. I think those need
Yeah.
to be. I don't know about remade. I mean, but
Well,
I guess this
it
isn't
needs
really
to
like a
be.
remake. Go ahead.
Well, no, I get what you're saying. It needs to be evolved, and I think there's hope for that, Nick. James Gunn, with his initial pitch for the DCU, um, talked about this dynamic duo movie. And did you hear about that? The dynamic duo. I think it's Jason Todd and the other Robin, Dick
Dick Drake.
Grayson,
Oh,
and
Dick Grayson.
yeah, yeah. I think it's those two, and they're like the dynamic duo, and they're puppets. But it's like a different form of puppetry. I think it's Swaybox Studio. I just looked them up while you were talking, and yeah, Swaybox Studio is developing this like really cool. It's like part animation, so they like do puppetry, but then they like
Yeah,
do
yeah.
CGI and animation on top of that. So it's like surreal. So I think
Right,
that
right.
might be the next form of puppet content that we're gonna get, and if that catches, there's gonna be copycats, and not copycats in a bad way, but there's gonna be emulators, and like that could turn into something, a wave of something. Be
Yeah,
cool.
I think that just level of filmmaking was really catching and cool. I mean, like, just look at, why, the Never-Ending Story was such a, I mean, the stories and stuff like that were great, I mean, because that's a huge part of it. But then also, why was this so eye-catching? Why was this so grabbing to
Yeah.
us as kids and stuff like that? Same with Labyrinth and all that kind of stuff, besides the fact, they had a lot of songs and stuff like that, but e- either way though, it's one of the things that everyone really really liked is just like these huge puppets and stuff like that, or these monster puppets. It was just really something that was really cool that I think needs to be replicated again. I think it's something that people are longing for, not like in a sense that like, hey, this is what's going to solve the movie issues, but I think it's a good, if they were gonna, if if people were looking for something that, like, not cartoon or something like that, for kids to watch and get into that are going to be memorable, like we
And
had
adult.
when we were growing up, like that, it would be something like this. That's what I'm kind of trying to say.
Yeah, there's an authenticity to it. Like,
Right? Yeah, yeah. That's a good word.
yeah. So, like, yeah, I totally agree.
But yeah, that would be my take on it. So
All right,
everybody,
Nick, this has
I
been a great
go
episode.
ahead.
No, this has
Yeah,
been a
I
great
agree.
episode. What do you got to close out?
I am. We got Monarch, buddy, and I mean, honestly, we're gonna get blown away next week with Maul. I mean, it's Maul. I mean, I know we're in deep Daredevil right now, but I mean, we've got Maul coming out, dude, and that is gonna be the
Yeah.
shit. And I'm telling you, like, as soon as that first episode drops, like, we're just gonna get fucking blown away. So we got to do a quick podcast on that one next week. So hopefully
Yeah.
everybody, we can see you next week and you know join us again. And Billy, thanks for being here with me tonight.
All right. Yeah, thank you. All right, take it easy.
All right, buddy.